Dr. India Woods here. As a veterinarian, I demand a lot of my scrubs on the job. That's why, whether I'm at the clinic or visiting a four-legged friend out in the field, I show up in FIGS. FIGS are made for the sometimes crazy situations I find myself in. It doesn't matter if I have to squat, sit, bend, or even chase after one of my patients. FIGS moves with me and keeps me comfortable in the highest pressure situations. FIGS are designed specifically for healthcare professionals and have a lot of pockets and zip compartments that never snag, so I can carry a ton of necessities like treats, gloves, instruments, and more. FIGS are also liquid repellent and never fade after the wash. One of the best moments is taking a fresh pair out of the dryer before a long shift. As a vet, I spend a lot of my time worrying about my patients and the people who love them, and it's not always easy. FIGS gives me one less thing to worry about, and even help me feel a little more confident on the job. If my patients could talk, they'd tell you to hurry up and get some FIGS. Show up in FIGS. Get 15% off your first order by visiting wearfigs.com and use code FIGSRX at checkout. That's wearfigs.com, code FIGSRX.
Thanks for joining us on the Overcomers Overcoming podcast series, where we profile those who have overcome or are in the process of overcoming a life topic. We have three purposes in this series. We want people to know that no matter what they are experiencing in life, there are others who are willing to help them work through any life topic. The second thing is that we want to make sure that people know that there are multiple solutions to anything that they are going through, that at the time it may seem that there's just no way to get through it, but there are in fact multiple solutions. The third thing is, if the life topic you're experiencing is because of a decision you made, that if you had a life redo, you would make a different decision. We want to help you with the critical thinking skills to help you discern all the facts and factors to reach perhaps a better decision. I am Ron Cooper, founder of the Cooper Culture. I'm here with my wife and business partner, Marty. The Cooper Culture is sponsoring this podcast series. Today we feature Michelle Young and Corey Green, a married couple who is experiencing some financial hardship because of a medical challenge that she is experiencing. Marty, what are some takes that our listeners can gain from this today?
One take that I took was this talented lady. She is a professional singer, she's a painter, she's a writer. She has a lot going for her, and then all of a sudden this sickness takes over and she can't do any of that. And so her commitment to herself of, I'm not going to let it get me down, I'm not blaming God for this, I'm accepting this and will deal with this as life goes on. And the fact that Corey loves her so much, he is a big support for her.
We'll learn from Michelle that she experienced what is known as very severe aplastic anemia. It is on the website that you can look it up to learn more about what it is that she is experiencing. But yes, the two of them, Michelle and Corey, have come together. You will learn that they are committed to each other, and no matter what it is they experience together, they will make it through. So they are in a medical challenge with her. They're in a financial challenge as a couple, but they are committed that the two of them will make it through this series in their life, this period. And for Michelle, she's operating at a slower speed than what she had been in the past, but she has accepted what is, and she has adjusted to it, and Corey as well has adjusted and adapted. So let's learn together just how this couple has experienced some pretty severe adversity in their marriage, but how they're moving forward to overcome all of this. Corey and Michelle, it's great to have you with us. I think our listeners are going to really learn from and benefit from the story each of you have. Michelle, this is going to be a little bit of more of a focus on you. I learned very recently that you have overcome, or you're in the process of still overcoming, a very serious very severe aplastic anemia. It's a term I'd never heard of before. And Michelle, if you feel comfortable, can you just walk our listeners through a little bit of what that is? And we're very interested in how you are either coping with that or how you've overcome, and how you two as a couple have dealt with all of this.
Sure. First of all, I'd like to say hello to you and Marty and your listeners. Thank you for inviting me here today. And as far as the very severe aplastic anemia goes, I didn't know what it was when I was first diagnosed. All I knew was that I started having bruises show up on my legs and my whole body that just had no reason to be there. Corey and I had been on a trip with one of his karate students, and I noticed when I would get up off a chair, I would have a bruise from the imprint of the chair on the back of my leg. And I thought, something about this is not right. I shouldn't be bruising that easily. Right after that, I went to a painting workshop with one of my sisters, and I started having sort of nosebleeds, things like that, where it was concerning. So she made me promise that I would go see a doctor when I got back, and I did. And they called me the next morning and told me to drive straight to the hospital, that my platelets were extremely low. And I still was just unaware, just totally, la-da-da-da-da, it's a normal day. And I went to the emergency room and found out that I was in high danger of just, if I had fallen or hurt myself, I could bleed out. So it was a dangerous situation. And I wound up having to go through 2 bone marrow biopsies. There was issues with the first one, so they had to redo it again to make sure, because if they had treated me for the wrong thing, it could have killed me. And so I was diagnosed with very severe aplastic anemia. And a lot of people, if you're 40 and under, they like to try to do a bone marrow transplant. Well, I was too old to get a bone marrow transplant, so we didn't even bother trying to look for, matches or anything. And so I went through an ATGAM treatment. There's horse ATGAM and rabbit ATGAM. And I was given horse ATGAM. And, I guess basically the cause of mine, too, like I said, was autoimmune. And my immune system was attacking the stem cells in my bone marrow, so I quit making blood. But we caught it early enough where they could actually watch my red and white cells going down as well. We monitored those for a little bit, and then it just became an emergency. When I was in the hospital, I was in Memorial Hospital, and everyone was just wonderful. I was on the cancer floor. I had a window. Thank God that I could see trees and sky and clouds, and I run on sunshine, so that was a big thing for me. And the weirdest thing, though, was just having to stop everything in its tracks. I was singing. I was teaching voice lessons at the time. I had been at music instruction studios almost 10 years. And everything, I just had to call and cancel everything overnight. It was just totally unexpected. It's like time just sort of stood still. So in the hospital, when I got the ATGAM, I had serum sickness, which was a bad reaction to this medicine, and I spiked a fever. They needed to give me antibiotics, but I'm allergic to all antibiotics. So they brought in an infectious disease doctor, and they gave me vancomycin through an IV, but I still had an allergic reaction to it while I was there. But they could give me all kinds of steroids and different things to try to counteract the allergic reaction. But I remember being so weak I could hardly talk. I couldn't get on my phone. I couldn't lift it up to get on Facebook or anything, or to sit up long enough to try to get on the computer. I was just weak. I was very, very low, and I had a low chance of survival through this. I was only the fourth person that my doctor had ever treated for aplastic anemia, and not all of them have survived. Some of them have come up with other cancers and stuff afterwards. So God answered a whole lot of prayers. We had people praying at different congregations. People would tell me about their children praying for me, and I would just bring tears to my eyes, because I always say, I know their prayers shot straight up to heaven. There was nothing impeding those little prayers. And God heard, and God carried me through this. But it was a long struggle, going through different things, and having a PICC line. Corey had to flush my PICC line out for me because the tail of it was so short, I couldn't reach it to flush it out myself. And I was in a wheelchair for a while when I finally got out. My immune system was highly compromised, as they had to knock my immune system down. And I wound up taking Promacta to help me build my blood supply back up. It would prompt my body to make blood. And then I was taking something called cyclosporin that would suppress my T cells to keep my body from attacking itself again. So it was a two-level plan there. And the thing is that my cyclosporin, the one that I was on, Sandamune, it had a funky smell to it. People said it smelled like skunk. And I would always joke, because I looked up what it was. Part of my way of combating this was to have knowledge about what it was, what the treatments are. I was researching everything I could about it. I feel like I knew almost as much as my doctor as far as the research and everything you could find online about it, and his treatments seemed right in line. But with the cyclosporin, it's actually a fermented fungi. So I would tell people I'm on my alcoholic shrooms, because and it was originally discovered in Norway. And, then I would bring up the song Norwegian Wood. And, again, this is just for laughs. You have to laugh your way through it. I smiled my way through it. Like I said, everyone was nice. Everyone from the cleaning personnel to the doctors and nurses, everyone in between. My congregation, one of our congregations came, some of the people from there, and sang some hymns for me while I was in the hospital, and it was just a beautiful thing, and I felt calm while I was going through this. I never had a real panic through all the side effects. I mean, at one point when I got the serum sickness, I looked like a peach flavored Jelly Belly. I know that sounds weird, but those splotches on there, those maroon splotches, I had them all over my body where my blood vessels, I guess, had just sort of leaked or burst or something, but it was not a good thing. A dear friend of mine who was my roommate in college, she would come from Atlanta to visit me and stay with me, and even after I got out, she would come and take me to the we'd go to the Hunter Museum together, and I would get in one of their little wheelchairs, and we would look around. She was awesome, but she told me that it really scared her when she saw that I had broken out like that, because she's been a nurse ever since we got out of college, and she says usually when she sees patients like that, they're on death's door. And I just didn't realize how close I really came to death. Like I said, I knew I was really weak, but I never panicked. I think the only time I ever panicked was when I thought I might be having a relapse at one point. I just sort of, felt like I can't go through this again right now, because I'm still weak. I still have problems with stamina, but I do what I can. And Corey, I mean, he's just a godsend. He's been so good to me. And so understanding, and I think it scared him quite a bit that he might lose me. So And, of course, I don't play on that sympathy any at all.
Right.
Sorry. But it's still a very rare thing. And one thing that's been also another godsend is there's a group on Facebook of people who have gotten aplastic anemia because it's such a rare thing. And this is one place where you can come and you can share experiences. And some of these are children getting aplastic anemia. Sometimes it's hereditary. It can be caused by exposure to chemicals. It can be caused by certain medications, or it can be autoimmune, or it can be just idiopathic, meaning they don't know what started it. And mine, of course, like I said, was diagnosed autoimmune. I think I've been dealing with autoimmune for several years now and just had never been officially diagnosed. But, in retrospect, I see a lot of symptoms and things. I've had petechiae, stuff like that, that was never, diagnosed. I had very high anti-nuclear antibody counts several years ago that were extremely high for two particular antibodies, and those usually would lead one to believe that you might have lupus. But the DO that actually had me get those tests was treating me for a car accident where someone had hit me, so we couldn't go down that rabbit hole at the time. But I believe this had been going on for a long time. So now our goal is to keep me as stress-free as possible, because I am used to burning it at both ends, just going, doing. And I don't feel under stress, but my body sometimes will tell me I'm under stress, and then I have to listen, because I'm not one to sit around and think and worry about things all the time, but my body absorbs all the stress. And after years of stress, whether it's, you haven't gotten enough sleep or you haven't eaten enough, or there might be things that are bothering you, maybe problems with your job or relationships. People, might be sick and you're worried about them or concerned, I should say, about them. But I have panic disorder now from an allergic reaction to antibiotics. So I just try to stay, because the panic disorder is not anything from my mind. I've woken up at 2:30 in the morning one night, worst one I ever had, and just had a pain in my neck and rubbed it, and boom, it was one of the worst ones I'd ever had. Corey thought I was dying. I thought I was dying. He took me to the emergency room, and they said, it's a panic attack. I didn't know what it was. So we just try to keep me stress-free, keep me being as creative as I can be in whatever aspect I can be. And he's been really, really just fantastic to take care of me. He makes sure that I eat right. If he's going out of town, he makes sure that, I'm going to eat right, and he'll quiz me, what have you eaten today? Just things like that, just to try to keep me in health, keep me hopefully going on an upward spiral this time.
Sure. Corey, Michelle, I'm very interested in knowing two things. How long ago was the initial diagnosis?
It was 2017, and again, it was around June, July, somewhere around in there. Again, we had been to Curacao with Ryan Rogers, one of his students that's on the U.S. karate team. That's the para karate team, and they were having a big competition in Curacao. So we sort of went, and that was my first time ever seeing those beautiful beaches that you see in the magazines. Never thought I'd ever get to see them, and wow, I got to see them. It was amazing. And then it was really hot there, and I've read about how heat sometimes can be a trigger as well. And after that, I went with, like I said, my sister Sherry. We went to a painting workshop in New Mexico, and it was so hot. They were having record high temperatures. And the Airbnb that we were staying at initially, it was 84 in the house and with no relief. And I was just having meltdowns, from the heat. So we decided to leave there and go to a hotel. But still, anytime we got out, it was just extremely hot. So I think that might have sort of aggravated it, hastened it. That's one of the things we always wonder is how did it happen? What happened? The doctor told me there was nothing I did, not anything I was eating or not eating or anything. He said, it's not your fault, because we always start looking at ourselves. If something like that happens, what did I do? What did I not do? And we don't have any real answers right now, but you can only suppose in your own health, know in your own body, and how it's been through life, what might affect you, what might not affect you, and just researching it.
Sure. Corey, I'm very interested from your perspective that what I'm picturing is Michelle was very active, singing, painting, and on the go all the time. But with this diagnosis, her life came to almost literally a total halt. I'm guessing, Corey, you were in the process of building your karate business, and to an extent, maybe literally your world now has been redirected and so forth. How did you handle all this?
Well, at first, whenever I remember the day that I looked at her gums and they were the same color as her teeth, and I drove away knowing something was wrong, but I had no idea what I could do about it. And when she finally came back and then she got into the hospital, I started focusing on that textbook I wrote because I thought, I got to do something. It's hard for me to deal with her being in the hospital and all the stress. I needed some kind of distraction and to focus, and it was really tough, that part. But when she was finally off of the walker after 10 months, this kind of wrapped around the year until we were going to be going to Spain for the World Championships. And so I could not leave my wife, I felt like, at all, by herself at this point for 11, 12 days. So I took her with me, and we went through the airport in Heathrow and through the airport in Spain, in Madrid, and we got her there, and it was in a wheelchair. But we did whatever it took so she could be there, and we came back. And I got to tell you something about Michelle. She is the second fastest lady to do back fist at the World Championships. They had this booth there. You could do a kick or a spinning kick or a back fist. My wife is faster than me at doing reaction time, and she was in the wheelchair, and she's faster than me. So, anyways, I have to share that with you because it was.
Hey, but it was the backhand. Remember that? Back fist, backhand. Sorry, that was American.
Well, I can identify with what you just said, Corey. Marty periodically tells me, or frequently tells me, I'm just slow.
I do not.
So just real quick.
But Corey, I'm picturing that all of a sudden you had just a huge burden on your hand. When I say burden, well, that's just a term that comes to mind. But now Michelle, up until this point, was very independent, very active, and now you're having to carefully monitor her day, her life, to where she's not overstressed. Am I characterizing this correctly?
That's correct, and the other thing is the financial with all the bills and whatnot. I found the most viable option was to do the side job, as we talk about, of delivering people and eventually food, because it gave me the option of being able to do what I need to do and just the flexibility. And so with all that, it all had to work, and it's been great to make it all work and to help us get through this whole process and to try to put ourselves in a better position for the future. And it just all worked with God's, blessing and path He already had written for us. It's just we're just living through it right now, and we're thankful for every day that we have with each other, and just to, hopefully help others find their path and get through the struggles they go through in their life as well.
Yes, and I'll tell you, Corey, you were just very eloquent in expressing your drive, desire, and your passion to take care of the family, doing whatever you need to meet those financial needs. And in episode 5, I think our listeners have a pretty clear picture of what you went through, but are actually going through right now. Michelle, I'm curious, are you quasi operating normally, albeit maybe at half speed? Is that the way things are?
Oh, not really. Not really at the moment. First, I do want to say, though, that Corey has been working very hard to pick up, because I was making some of the money that was going into the household, and even though he has always made the lion's share. And he's done very, very well at covering what I couldn't do, and, to keep our roof over our head and things like that. And I'm very grateful. I hate that he has to do it, but I'm very grateful that he's such a hard worker and self-motivated, a real go-getter. And, I'm blessed for that. But,
I got to say this real quick before she continues. I don't know if you realize, but I've said this recently, that I believe that she's a national treasure, okay, because you don't even know about her writing abilities at all. We haven't even talked about that yet. And she is an amazing, brilliant writer. She's a genius in everything that she does. We talk and joke about how everything she touches turns into gold, but it doesn't really turn into figurative or literal gold. It's just amazing what she does produce. And whatever it might be in art or music or in writing, she takes it to a level that is beyond most people's abilities and comprehension. And like I said, I didn't believe in talent until I met her. And that's why I married her in the same year.
Mm-hmm. Corey, I'm picturing you married way, way up, just like I did.
Well, let me just say this. I have to say this without embarrassment, but as a joke, my sensei would say, "Why did she marry you?"
Oh, goodness.
Michelle, I can picture in the context of stress that finances can be, and it's statistically, finances is one of the most stressful topics in a marriage. How do you handle that aspect of stress?
I used to take care of, paying all the bills online and everything, and I've just handed a lot of that over to Corey. I've just gotten to the point where I say I can't. I can't listen to these people on the phone, or I can't handle that kind of stress anymore. So I let him take care of a lot of it. I've learned to let a lot of things just go that used to, I've chilled on a lot of things that I used to be very, very on top of, and being, if you want to say, because I'm a Virgo, I'm a perfectionist, but but I've learned to just really relax, stand back, and let him, take over some things and help where I can. But again, and this COVID lockdown has also inhibited my return to strength too, because I've stayed home quite a bit. I used to try to get out and at least walk. I would go to Hobby Lobby and Fresh Market. They're right by each other, on Gun Barrel. And I would walk around in there. And I got to know the people very well. And it's just a great place to get some exercise. But when COVID-19 hit and we needed to stay home, I was staying home so much and not getting any exercise really. So just very recently, I've started trying to get out again. And walk a little bit, and I've been streaming church services on the internet, but I went to church the other day in person just because I miss everybody so much and worshiping with them and learning with them. in person. I was going to a ladies' class at one time, and outside of our regular, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night worship services or Bible studies, and just really active with a lot of that, and just like I said, I've just backed off from everything. The most things that I'm involved in right now pertain to writing, or I have a booth at the Christmas market where I make knitted products. Over the lockdown, I used that time to learn some new skills. So I learned to dye yarn, I learned to spin yarn and dye the roving, and I learned to weave. And I've of course been knitting and stuff too. So I had knitted items and yarn and stuff to sell during the Christmas holiday, which helped us out financially too. But see, that kind of work I can do at home. If I get tired, I can take a nap. Sitting up or standing up or doing something for several hours at a time is pretty much beyond me. If I do something like that, I'm in bed the next day and the next. I mean, it just wears me out. So it's a little sad when my mid-80s mother can do more than I can. When she shows me up, I get embarrassed. But she understands. She and Daddy do.
Well, Michelle, what is a realistic hope for you for the future? Do you have a realistic hope that you can restore to the level of activity you were, or are you resigned to the fact that it'll never be?
Wow, that's a good question. Part of me has learned to deal with some elements of disability. However, part of me has literally been daydreaming about when I was young and how I used to run. I mean, literally just in my mind, I'll go over it and I'll feel how it is to run and jump, and I'll say, boy, I want to get back to that someday. And I think eventually I will be able to get back to where I may have to, limit myself occasionally, but I think that I won't be unable to do anything that I want to do. I may not get to do it for a longest period of time as I used to, but, I should be able to do what I used to do in some fashion, just maybe an abbreviated, time span. As far as, taking breaks in between.
Sure. Corey, I'm envisioning as Marty and I are talking with or listening to Michelle that Corey, your mindset is you'll adjust, you'll do whatever is needed. I get a very definite sense, and I'm sure Marty does too. You two are definitely committed to each other. There's nothing that you two will encounter that you won't overcome. Is that, Corey, is that kind of the way things are with you?
Absolutely. I want to say like about 10 days ago, I told her that we should go walking, so we can get some stamina built up. And I couldn't go walking with her, but she went on her own because I told her if she didn't go walking, it's going to rain for a little while. I think it rained for 10 days straight. So it's like we are determined to get her where she needs to be. And it might not be fast, but, I'm like a turtle. I've been hiding in my shell. I also move really slow, and I learn really slow sometimes, but at least I'll get there. And that's just how we have to take it sometimes, one day at a time.
Right. Michelle, I'm guessing that you would say that, that certainly you would never want for this to happen. However, you're adjusting to it. Corey is adjusting to it. And Michelle, I'm characterizing your mindset as I'm listening to you is a total committed relationship to Corey that whatever happens, and I guess there's still some unknown of your situation, but my guess is you have the total confidence that no matter what happens, Corey is going to adjust. The two of you will do whatever it takes to adjust. Is that an accurate characterization?
Yes, it is. And I think anybody who's seen us together as a couple, they always talk about how much in love we look. You know, it's been almost 17 years now since we got married, and I think we're happier today than we ever were. And we love to laugh together, as you've seen, and we've just lightened up about a whole lot of things so much. And sometimes it doesn't take much to make us happy, you know, just a little something. Even the one scene we used to, when Madagascar came out and we had it on DVD, there was this one scene that we laughed at so hard that I've made it his ringtone on my phone, where the lion had scared the little lemur, and the hippopotamus comes over and says, "Baby, did that big old mean lion scare you?" And the lemur's like, "Uh-huh." And we would play that, and standing right in front of it, and laugh and rewind it and play it again, and laugh and rewind it and play it again. I mean, because it's just some of the smallest things can make you laugh, you know. We're not looking for a McMansion. We're not into money for the sake of money or toys. We're just looking to be able to make a living and to help others, you know, to have extra to help others.
Sure.
And I've always, you know, prayed to God that He'll just give me the tools I need to do the work that I need to do. And boy, He, you know, when you ask for a blessing like that, he as they say, you know, he pours it in that cup and he stacks it up and scrunches it down and pours some more until it's overflowing. And it's like, wow. So, yeah, we're very happy together, and, you know, just love each other no matter what our flaws are. We embrace them with each other.
No, that is all good, Michelle. Yes, our scripture says that God's good measure will be pressed down and spread to us. And yes, you two impress us as being totally committed to each other. And this is an inspiration to a lot of people that, adversity, sometimes in spite of it or even because of it, sometimes this adversity makes us stronger. I'll tell you that in the context of laughter, Marty and I frequently say, I mean, it occurred several times today, Marty's spontaneous humor, wit, just keeps our marriage lively, and it sounds like you two have that.
Yes. Corey's probably better. Well, I'm pretty sure he's better at comedy than I am. But sometimes I pull up these dry humor spots here, you know, they just say something with a straight face or something and make them laugh. Or, well, I'm not beyond doing goofy things too, you know. I'm just sort of what you see is what you get. And
laughter's the best medicine, they say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, for sure. Well, Michelle and Corey. Yes.
Hello? I'm sorry. I just wanted to encourage your audience that, you know, if you find yourself in a situation where you're ill, that's when you find out who you know, how your spouse views you, how they love you, or, you know, one of the worst things that could happen is for somebody to get sick and then their spouse walk out on them because they can't handle it. That would just be horrible. But you know what? Corey's totally up to the task, and I couldn't ask for a better partner in life. I just don't think we're so suited to each other that I know God finally sent me the one that I'm supposed to, you know, grow old with, and love and just walk through life with.
That's. I'm glad you said that, Michelle. That yes, that is an example of commitment. And yes, there are some that. Well, of course, our marriage vows say for sickness and health, for better, for worse. But there's some people who say, well, I didn't know it was going to be this bad or something of that nature. And yes, they walk out on each other. But Marty and I have the expression that we're on a journey together and forever. And it sounds like you two are committed to each other just that way.
Yeah, we are. We just love exploring the world together, checking out anything together. I mean, in any store, he's as comfortable as I am in Hobby Lobby, or he's gone shopping with me in the past, and he can pick out some nice clothes. I was mentioning the Virgo earlier. He handed me a T-shirt one time in the dressing room, and it had all of these attributes on it, and I was like, wait, how did you find that? That's me, and turned it over, and it said Virgo, and he just, it's like, I'm not big into astrological signs and stuff like that, but he's really good at finding things that he knows that I'll like, and that's the thing. It's like we don't do a whole lot necessarily on Christmas or Valentine's. We do it throughout the year. Anytime we see something that, a small something that we want to get for the other, just to let them know, hey, I was thinking about you and I thought you might like this.
And sometimes we'll do it virtually. Like I will go to a place that has yarn, and I will go to Facebook and we'll do FaceTime or whatever, and we will shop together, and then she can choose what she wants, and then I can get it for her, like as if she was there.
Now, isn't that an amazing husband? Not only does he not sit in the car when I'm going to Hobby Lobby, when he goes on a trip, in whatever city he's in, he will find a yarn store for me and let me pick out some yarn over, the camera. I mean, that is amazing to me. That's just awesome. I love that.
Well, Michelle, that's really great. I appreciate you coming on and telling your story. It's amazing and it's inspiring, and I know it'll touch a lot of people. Talk about funny things that you do. Ron is not a shopper, so he's not invited. And what we will do is he'll say, you want to go on a dump date? And that's taking the trash to the dump. And so we'll do that. That's fun. I mean, it's just little things that mean a lot to us. I want to say we have heard, in the past podcast with Corey, just how committed he is to and the passion he has, and we really appreciate that. And now we get to hear it from you and how you have come through and are still coming through all of this, and you're doing it together. I worked with a guy, real quick, who was one of my bosses. His wife got cancer. He left his wife and married someone that was working just down the hall from us. And, it was horrible to see, because she was my boss at one time also, and I just really felt for her. So I appreciate your commitment to each other too.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Corey, he relates to people, his students. He gives his all to everyone, especially me, and you can't ask for anything more, really. You can't ask for anything more.
No, that is good. And you two and our listeners have a little bit of insight into how exciting a guy I am, that here I am on a Valentine's Day. I asked my wife if she wants to go on a dump date. That's just a 2-minute drive down the street to the recycling place. That's how exciting I am.
We do a lot of fun things, really.
Yeah.
But
one of the things I want to share, if you don't mind, one little sweet thing he used to do when we had a little Yorkie that was our baby. I mean, she was 2.5 pounds full grown, and we got her just a couple months or so a few months after we got married, I should say, less than a year. And she lived 14 years. And he used to, when I would go off to sing, he would stand in the doorway with our little dog, and he would wave her little paw at me. Then they would both say goodbye while I was going off to work. It was so sweet. That's one of those memories, that you can't buy anything like that. That's just a precious, precious memory. And now that she's gone, still sometimes we'll take and we'll wiggle two of our fingers as if, it was the dog's paw waving goodbye and stuff. But we all have our little rituals, our little love rituals that we do. And to me, that was just, a wonderful send-off to a show. It was just knowing that Corey and Chrissy were going to be there when I got back, and they were waving me goodbye.
No, that's great. Corey, you and Michelle are building memories, and there will be a time when you can look back on this and just say, yes, we made it, and you're an inspiration to many others who are going through stuff that Michelle and Corey are making it through it. They're committed, and thank you for sharing your story, your commitment, and we're looking forward to following you, that we know that you are a journey in progress.
Well, I thank you again, Ron and Marty. I really have enjoyed talking to you today, and Marty, we're going to have to get together and swap some tales sometime.
I would love it. We love Tennessee, and used to come down there to Norris Dam with my family for family reunions. So we love it, and I love Tennessee. Oh, I got a tickle in my throat. Sorry.
Yeah, if there's an opportunity to maybe a 14-hour drive from where we are to Chattanooga, but yes, we'll do that.
Wow. Maybe you can do a little dump run to Chattanooga. For your garbage all the way over there. We'll find you a place to put it.
Great.
But really, thank you so much. Pardon?
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for sharing your story of hope, and we will follow you through your progress.
Thank you, and I wish your audience a wonderful day and all of the encouragement and love that I can send them as well.
Great, thank you. I'm sure you'll probably agree that Michelle and Corey have been through a lot in their marriage. For Michelle, a very active singer, painter, writer, to be stopped almost dead in her tracks from an activity perspective, to be able to be forced to slow down because of this very tragic medical diagnosis. That in itself was just a devastating part of her life. But then for Corey to be aware of what's happening and the total impact in their marriage, their lives, he has made an adjustment. Michelle has made an adjustment. The two of them, through their commitment, are going to make a journey that is going to have a great testimony to many other people. We hope that you are gaining from this podcast series, that you're learning from other people's experiences, that they too are overcoming many life events. We too, together, can overcome virtually any challenge we have. There are multiple solutions, but together we can make it through whatever it is that may seem very daunting and uncertain at the time, if we'll be able to make it through. But with perseverance, as Corey said, we too can make it. We hope we can warrant a 5-star rating with you, and that you want to subscribe to this series as we continue to profile people who are overcoming various life events. They're very inspiring with what they have done, what they've had to do, and they give us hope that we too can overcome virtually anything that happens to us. I want to make you aware of a digital course that Marty and I have on relationships. Michelle and Corey have demonstrated a very committed relationship with each other. And as we explained in the podcast, there are times that people can have various challenges and they just give up on each other. But what is it to have a commitment? How can you know if your prospective life partner is committed? How can you trust them? How can you know them? The digital course that Marty and I have put together on relationships helps to determine just those type qualities to help you reach a very informed decision of whether the person that you are considering dating, the person you're considering entering a longer-term relationship, is this the right person? Included in that is a relationship red flag questionnaire that we can help you determine through that if there are any red flags that need to be addressed before the relationship gets to the serious part. We also have a checklist, if you want to call it that, that helps you think into the values that you want for a lifetime mate. Very important that you know the person who is most complementary to you. Marty and I can tell you that is very normal to be very opposite each other as long as you're complementary with those opposite traits. Where I'm weak, Marty is strong. And so we want to help you determine the right mate that is a lifetime partner, a person you can trust, a person to whom you can be committed, and is there going to be a mutual commitment? Contact us and let us know. If we can help you with that, you can call us at 410-586-1875. Correspond with us by email, ron@thecooperculture.com or Marty, M-A-R-T-Y, @thecooperculture.com. Also, let's dialogue by either talking directly with each other or commenting. And let's learn from each other. Any experiences you have had, challenges, how did you overcome them? How did you determine if you're with the right person who is committed to you? How did you adapt to various life challenges? Let's all learn from each other so that we want to share your experience with others, and we want to help others with a lifetime commitment. We look forward to interacting with you, so let's get together and share our experiences.
Since 2011, American Giant has been making everyday clothing with extraordinary effort. Not in far-off factories, but right here in the USA. We obsess over fabrics, fit, and details, because if you're going to wear it every day, it should feel great and last for years. From the cut of a hoodie to the finishing of a seam, nothing is overlooked. Our supply chain is tight-knit and local, which means less crisscrossing the country and more care in every step. The result is durable clothing, t-shirts, hoodies, sweatpants, and denim that become part of your life season after season. This isn't fast fashion, it's clothing made with purpose by people who care as much about how it's made as how it fits. Get 20% off your first order with code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off your first order at American-Giant.com with code STAPLE20.